Good morning. I'm in Santa Fe, New Mexico today, and I'm just finishing up here at Starbucks. Had a very productive morning doing some client work, some video editing. I'm headed out today to Taos, and I'm looking forward to this. It's on my bucket list of top 10 things that I want to do this year is to visit Taos and to see the Earthship Visitor Center. They're absolutely amazing, and the hub and this epicenter for this is in Taos. I'm going to go up and take a tour. It's about probably 2 hours from here, north of Santa Fe, headed up there. Probably 2.5 or 3 for me because I drive a little bit slower. One of the things I really like about New Mexico is their overpasses, these bridges. They have quite elaborate designs. I only caught 2 of them on my video, but it looks like they really commissioned some artists to do some interesting artwork. I also really enjoy going through the towns, just looking at the interesting architecture they have, and the countryside here where they have the interesting rocks and the mountain passes with trees. It's just quite a beautiful drive around Taos, and I highly recommend it. I've arrived at the Earthship Visitor Center. A little bit of wind today. I apologize for that. Probably going to pick it up as I walk around. Using my GoPro today instead of the Powershot Canon because I don't have those little muffs, and this tends to do a little bit better in the wind, the little breeze. You can see some of the structures here. I'm going to go in and I'll let them hopefully explain a little bit about Earthships and then wander around and do the self-guided tour and check it out. This is one of my top 10 things that I've wanted to do for a while. Actually, specifically, I want to come out here and take a 2-week course on construction techniques and get a certification on building Earthships. So that's my bucket list. So this is step 1 towards that, to sort of do the research today and figure it out, and then sign up and come back to do the course later. Hello.
Hi there. Thank
Hello.
you. Yeah, I think it should be.
Paulina is one of the employees working here at the Earthship Visitor Center, and she has kindly agreed to just give me an introduction and overview of the Earthships and what they're all about. So we're standing inside of Eve, and I'll let her explain basically what we're looking at.
Well, welcome to Eve. Eve stands for Experimental Village Ecologies. This is a 2-acre plot of land that essentially was given to Earthship Biotechture by the county to be able to build on without having to respect crazy building permits. As a result, we have these strange buildings and exposed cans. These cans actually show directly what the interior of our walls and Earthships look like. So if you go into the visitor center, you see the walls are really nice and gorgeous, beautifully plastered over, but in reality, they're truly just made out of garbage cans that are garbage with cement in between them. So of course it's not as if this 2-acre plot of land is free by any stretch of the imagination. We have to go through a 5-year permitting process. So every 5 years we give them our plans of the work we've done and the work we plan on doing. We cross our fingers that it will go through for another 5 years. It's great because we get to use really interesting building techniques in these structures that we can't use in residential homes that need to be completely permitted. I guess I should explain the concepts of Earthships, the 5 or 6 main concepts. First, we build out of recycled materials. This allows us to take garbage out of landfills because New Mexico really isn't well known for its recycling programs, unfortunately. So we use these aluminum cans and glass bottles. Our construction crew and our residents of the community provide more than enough materials that we would need. We also used rammed earth tires that you don't explicitly see in this building, but it's always on the north side of the building. That is actually wider than what's legally required for a foundation. They're also earthquake proof because the rubber absorbs the vibration, so FEMA came in and did those tests. And they also contain thermal mass, so they act as a heat battery. Over 18 months, as long as it takes to charge an Earthship, After that, when it's colder in the airspace, it will kind of suck the heat from our thermal walls, these tire mass walls in the north side, into the living space. So our buildings are always at a comfortable 60, 65 degrees at all times. So we do use passive heating and cooling techniques. We have hoppers, which are our adjustable windows in the rooftop, and we have these galvanized steel cooling tubes that will bring the cool air from the buried north side of our buildings into our living space. So all of our buildings face due south, so we can take advantage of solar radiation, and we kind of bury the northern side, so we take advantage of the Earth's thermal mass, which is at a constant 57 degrees. Next, we use renewable energy. Taos gets over 300 days of sun a year, so we don't have any issues with solar panels. We also find that using too many wind turbines, there are these moving mechanisms where if there's an issue or some sort of damaged part, it's more difficult to fix. Whereas if you can adhere a solar panel onto a rooftop, you're good to go. Next, we harvest all of our water from the sky. So our water table here in Taos is 800 feet down, which means that drilling for a well is damn near impossible and very, very expensive. So as a result, even though we only get 5 to 7 inches of rain a year, we make sure that we design our rooftops so that we have enough rainwater coming into our system. We bury our cisterns in the berm on the north side. This means that they're not exposed to solar radiation, so no algae growth. And also they are insulated with the Earth's thermal mass, so we always have our water accessible even when it's below freezing. Once we use the water from our cisterns, it goes through a 4-part filter system. Doesn't need any sort of carbon filter, it's odorless, and doesn't have any discoloration, so it's rather simple. Once we use it from our sinks and our showers, it's considered gray water. That gray water will go into these internal planters inside of the building and water our plants. It will then go through a secondary filter, a secondary pump, and go into our toilets. So we never flush our toilets with clean drinking water or clean washing water whatsoever. A conventional home uses 60 to 80 gallons a day per person, and Earthship uses 18.9. So once the water comes from our toilet or our kitchen sink, it's considered black water. That black water will go into an outdoor buried conventional septic tank. Once the liquids and the solids homogenize, it'll slowly leach out into a black water botanical cell out front. The way you can tell that we have black water botanical cells in front of our buildings is it's the only place where we have trees in all of the mesa. The cool thing about the reason why sink water from your kitchen sink is considered black water is because of the food particles. In our conventional earthships, residential earthships, we have to bring that water into something like this. It would be like essentially a little box that will rubber line. And in our conventional earthships, we'll put a pair of pantyhose, just one leg. We've learned to only put one leg. If you put 2 legs, then you may get hit in the face with a pair of legs. That's happened to our founder, Mike Reynolds, before. So 1 leg of pantyhose with a hose clamp, and that filters out the food. The water will then continue into the septic tank. Because this is an experimental 2-acre plot of land, we are going to be utilizing vermicomposting. So worms will be in this box with their media that they're in. The water from the kitchen sink will come in, the food particles will get left, and the water will continue into the septic system. The beauty of the worms is that they eat the microbacteria and the microorganisms that decompose the food. So we don't have any rotting, nasty smells, nothing. It's a completely odorless way of composting. And eventually, once this building is finished, we will be implementing that. That's it for Eve.
Doing the self-guided tour, and it's a number of points that you go through on some laminated sheets here, and you start right by the entryway with the fig tree, and they explain how the root system go down below. And this front area is sort of like a greenhouse that is typically south facing. The water that is used to water all of the plants here is gray water from the sinks and the showers and things like that. That's used to come out here and water the plants, and then after that it goes out into the rest of the system. The other feature is that this is all south facing with a panel of windows, so this provides solar heating for the house. So this zone is very, very warm and creates sort of a greenhouse type effect here on the front side of the house, on the south facing side, which is what allows the interior to be heated into the thermal mass. From what I understand, the Earthships are built sort of in a triangular type shape. So the south facing wall, which is this wall, is angled up towards the sun like this, and then the roof is angled backwards perpendicular in a long slope to collect water, as well as to create this triangular point right at the top. And at that triangular point they have some vents for escaping hot air. There's cool air that comes in on the bottom from the north side in the back of the house through vent tubes, and that air travels across through the house, and then as it warms up it moves towards this top apex area and escapes through vents up there. As I understand it, they catch all the water that comes off the roof and they run it through a series of filters here to purify it so that it's drinkable and usable for human use. And then after the sink water is used and toilets and showers, then they funnel into the greenhouse for use by the plants. I finished up here at the Earthship Visitor Center. I'm going to head back now to Taos and maybe make a little stop. I saw a bridge on the way that looked interesting. I'm going to stop there for a few minutes and then head on into Taos. I'm going to see if I can find a coffee shop, do a little bit of video editing. All I have for this episode. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about Earthships and seeing a tour out there at the Visitor Center. I had a fabulous time in Taos, and I think it's a place that is really interesting to go visit. Thank you for watching. Savor the moment. See you next episode.